Hi, today we're going to go through a writing lesson just one more time. It's been a while since we've done this together, so I just wanted to remind you how to get started and make sure you're on the right track. So first things first is you should find the assignment on Google Classroom that says Lesson 11, Writing Prompt, Intro Conclusion. Use this prompt on your own paper to work through the writing process. Do the TAP, brainstorm, categorize, thesis, and compose an intro and conclusion. My suggestion is with the spool graphic organizer. So make sure you have your own paper. Pause this until you get that because it won't work otherwise. So here's our writing prompt. This is one of the SOL prompts. You may have seen it before. So first thing we're going to do is read it. A couple times would be helpful. There's a common saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Think of something that has an unattractive appearance, but that has a special meaning to someone for other reasons. It might be an old car, a well-used toy, a faded photograph, or something else. Identify the object and explain why it has special meaning. Okay, that's a lot of words. So let's take it to our paper real quick and make sure we know what to do. First thing is on the top of your paper, please put your name. And then I would like you to put writing lesson 11, intro, conclusion. The whole reason you need to have your own paper and not do this on a Google Doc is because on your SOL test in March, which is coming up, you won't have a Google Doc. A prompt will pop up on your screen, and then you have paper, and ultimately you type a final draft. So everything in between is up to you. So what we're going to do is maybe not write every single word of that prompt, but we're going to write the bulk of it. So that it doesn't, like once it goes away, it's gone, so we want to make sure we have it. So let's read it one more time and figure out the important parts. There's a common saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Think of something that has an unattractive appearance but has a special meaning to someone for other reasons. It might be an old car, a well-used toy, a faded photograph, or something else. Identify the object and explain why it has special meaning. So I saw the phrase special meaning twice, and it says subject, something, and object. So let's just kind of start right here where it says think. Think of something, you should be writing this down, that has an unattractive appearance the key is unattractive appearance, but has a special meaning. So something ugly. Got it. What's the rest of it say? It might be an old car, a well-used toy, a faded photograph, or something else. Identify the object and explain why it has special meaning. I don't think we need the part about the toy or photo because that's just examples, so let's just finish the rest of it. Identify the object and explain why it has a special meaning. All right. So far, the only thing you have on your paper is your name and the prompt, and we'll pause for one. Okay, so what's next? We have our prompt. We've written it on our own paper so that it doesn't disappear and we forget what we're going to say. What do? So my suggestion is you make sure you really have a good analysis of it, and the easiest way for me is to just do the topic, the audience, and the purpose, so I'm clear what I have to do. For my topic, it says unattractive appearance, something, special meaning, object. So I'm going to kind of say an ugly object that's special. You could say sentimental, something. My audience for this does not appear to be any specific type of person. It doesn't say to persuade or anything, so we're going to say a general audience and remind yourself to keep it formal writing. If you're thinking about what tone you should take, this kind of unattractive seems like it would be all kind of negative, but it's asking you to explain why it's special. So I think you could kind of lean positive on this. I'm sorry, my pen just died. Getting another pen. For the purpose, it tells me to explain. So that's pretty straightforward. I'm explaining, but I want you to make a note to yourself that we're explaining why the ugly object is special. All right, now what? Start typing? No. What do we do? So I think that this whole thing kind of leads itself to two brainstorms. For me, I would have to spend a minute thinking about an actual thing. So let's make a circle map, and we're going to brainstorm about ugly objects that we have. There's no wrong answer. You need several to pick from, because what you might discover is you have this old ratty toy that you love, but you don't know where it came from and you don't know why it's important. Like, you got to pick a thing you can write about. So you're going to brainstorm about something ugly that you have. Pause right here until you do that. Once you have an ugly object, you need to pick one. You can even like circle it. And then we need to brainstorm about why it's special. So once you pick one, brainstorm about why that thing is special to you. Maybe it's who gave it to you, or what it represents to you, or I don't know. No wrong answer. Think stories. We can kind of group them. The big deal is once you do that, you need to have 2 to 3 categories in order to create a thesis statement. Your thesis statement, I'm running out of room. Your thesis is your topic, which is the object, and your categories. So if I say a broken comb is so special to me because of who gave it to me and what it reminds me of and where I keep it, then that's what I write. Don't make these more than 2 words, maybe. Your categories need to be very concise, and then you can elaborate with your actual stories in your paragraphs. All right, until you get a thesis statement, pause right here and get one. Once you have a thesis statement, my suggestion to you is to take it to the back and draw yourself a nice little spool. This represents your introduction. This paragraph represents your conclusion, which will be at the very end of your paper. Your thesis statement that you just made needs to end your introduction. Not the beginning, not the middle. It needs to kind of focus the reader and end your introduction. You want to start out broad. Maybe talk about value in general or objects in general or something, just a one-word topic. Narrow that down to maybe unattractive objects, and then thesis. For your conclusion, you want to restate your thesis in 2 sentences. So 1, 2. Just bust this up and make it not so copy-paste. And then at the bottom, for your last big point, you need to take it back broader. Think about, okay, what's your point? You wrote all this about an ugly chair that you keep even though it's disgusting. What's the point? Is the point that everyone should have an ugly chair? Is the point that everyone should look around and see what they can keep sentimental? I don't know. Make a point. That's the hardest part. So all of this is very doable. It is more doable if you get to a thesis statement. Ultimately, what I'm grading you on is your intro and conclusion. So when you get to the point where you have a thesis and you want me to check it, I would love to. If you get stuck, come talk to me. And let's remember how to write. It's been a while.